Yo, first and foremost, all due respect, this has nothing to do with DMX's legacy. It won't impact it whatsoever. But it was one of those things I kind of figured. And I'm reading this article off hotnewhiphop.com, and it says, and I quote, DMX Exodus early album sales projected lower than expected. And you say, well, what is album sales in 2021 anyway? I get that. But when it's all said and done, and I say this with all due respect, it just wasn't a high demand for a new DMX album in 2021. Like I'll go back and I look at that video, Hood Blues. It only has less than 500,000 views. And I'm not one to talk about views, but I mean, the people let you know if they really want to see it or not. That energy that you seen from J. Cole's album wasn't like that when X's album. You don't know how many people I asked of a certain age, 30 plus, hey, you heard that album? Yeah, I kept getting, yeah, nah. It just felt like people had moved on. It's been so many years. I mean, it's been 10 years almost since he dropped his last album. And people was like fact checking me. You forgot Undisputed. I wanted to forget about it. That was actually the first album X put out that broke the streak because he had the streak 5 straight #1 albums that debuted. That broke it. So we get this Exodus album, and it was poorly promoted, but I still don't think that's the real cause of the album sales. Swiss didn't put the first single out till like 4 days before the album came out. That was weird. And then I don't know if Swiss was trying to do a 2-for-1 thing because he drops the album Friday and then does the versus battle with Timbaland, I think, Sunday. And I don't know how that went because hell, it's Memorial Weekend, you know what I mean? The world is back open. Niggas was outside. Nobody wasn't watching verses. But this is what they did. And like Def Jam is disappointed because they thought they were gonna get more than what they thought. Now I read this article and it says the death of DMX last month was a shock to the music industry that created a ripple effect in pain and heartbreak throughout the hip hop world. The pain was expected to be elevated with the arrival of his new album Exodus, a project he was working on months before his untimely passing, but now it looks like not everyone was tuning in for the new music as expected. Yeah, I mean, I watched this interview with 50 last year. 50 was putting out a book, and halfway through the interview, the guy who's interviewing says, "Hey man, when you gonna put some of this movie stuff down and do get back in the booth and get back to your roots and do some music?" And 50 kind of looked at him and laughed and was like, "For what? What am I trying to prove? What do I have more to accomplish in that genre? And there's no high demand for a new 50 Cent album. So why waste my time?" Now X, it been so long, maybe he felt like he needed to put another album out because he's an artist, he's a musician. I get that. It just wasn't necessary. I love Ice Cube. I love America's Most Wanted and all of that. But do I need a new Ice Cube album in 2021? No, thank you. I don't. It's just at this point, I'm more interested in Ice Cube's movies than his music. Same thing with Queen Latifah and a lot of LL. Give me a LL movie or a new TV show. Album, I'm kind of past that. I've moved on. Fans have moved on. That's the game. Players come and go. The game won't never go nowhere. Hell, even when Jordan took some years off, he came back, wasn't the same. There just wasn't a high demand for it. Like I say, now you get into the album itself. The album actually isn't bad. It still comes off to me as a Swiss Beats album than a DMX record because it just had way too many features, and I just couldn't see X signing off on all of these features. You had Bono from U2 on this album. Snoop, that track was actually pretty fire. Usher was on there. I don't remember that song. Lil Wayne was on there. That wasn't a bad record. Alicia Keys was on there. Nas and Jay had a pretty had a good joint with X that kind of was like a late '90s type of like nostalgia factor. But honestly, the more they make Jay-Z and Nas rap together, the less special it feels. It's like, damn, I mean, y'all niggas might as well do an album. But like I say, the album only is expected to move 28 to 32,000 copies within the first week, about 12,000 to 14,000 actually pure sales. Damn. And it's gonna be #4 following Juice World and Taylor Swift. And like I say, Swiss Beats and them they rushed it. I mean, now the album came out on the 28th, only 49 days after DMX was pronounced dead on April 9th. And it says some fans felt it was too soon, but given the fact he was working on a project before his death doesn't necessarily make it feel rushed to a coincidence to his passing. Still, that does make you wonder if things might have turned out differently if the sales on the sales side if they waited till the start of the summer to give people more time to mourn. Yeah, and that's why I say I don't feel bad as a DMX fan for putting this out because it has nothing to do with his legacy. This was Swiss Beats. This was Def Jam. This goes on them trying to be greedy, trying to capitalize off of our emotions and our mourning and hoping we could just jump up and buy the new DMX album. But truthfully, I don't think it would have been that much of a difference had he still been around because people have just moved on. I think people would love to see another DMX movie. I was personally more looking forward to his movie career than the new music. I love DMX movies. I always thought he was a great actor. At some point, you just have to transition and move on. Lloyd Banks, grew up on Lloyd Banks. I know all of the punchlines, PLK, all that. Lloyd Banks ain't put an album out since 2010. Now, he just announced that he's got a new project coming out, and in the comments section, it was a 50-50 response. Some people was like, we don't care. And some people was like, okay, but that's what happens. It's not because Lloyd Banks is garbage. It's just you waited. You've been gone for 10, 12 years on the album tip, and now you coming back, and you can't expect everybody to embrace you when you take that long, when you take that much time off. A lot of diehard Lloyd Banks fans like myself, we had to move on because how loyal are you gonna stay to an artist when they not giving you no more music? It's no different than a fiend. How long is the fiend gonna stay loyal to the dealer? You ain't gonna be loyal, but so much. You know what I mean? And at some point, you gotta move on. That's just the way hip hop goes. And the longer you wait, the longer you miss your opportunity. I think if DMX would have put out an album in 2008 or something, it would have been different. But a big portion of that audience that used to listen to DMX, a lot of them either ain't here no more or they not listening to music the way we listen to it now. You got some cats out here still listening to CDs. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. It just was rushed, and it's a shame that it ended up being like this. But it is what it is, man. Like I said, it don't have any impact as DMX's legacy to me, but it was on my mind, and I did read that article. So let me know what y'all think if y'all heard the album. Like I say, the Money Bag joint was actually dope. They couldn't clear the Pop Smoke verse, so they gave you that. It wasn't bad. It was just an odd combo. I just can't picture X say, yo, let me get Money Bag on this joint. I just can't see X even knowing who that is, because X, if you knew anything, X didn't really. He kind of looked down upon a lot of this current, auto tune mumble type of rap. I just can't picture X working with any old body. And but the album wasn't bad. There's some joints on there. The joint with the Locks. I mean, X and the Locks are undefeated. They've never done a bad song together. But it wasn't the same. It is what it is. Time moves on. I never thought I'd see the day where a DMX album came out and it felt like not too many people really cared. And that was kind of a reality check that, we're definitely in 2021. Because in 2001, it would have been a way bigger response. But time moves on and people move on. So big ups to the dog. Rest in peace. Swiss Beats. This is on you. Def Jam, Leo, and them. Fuck off.